Hello, and welcome to the third episode of Rated D for Drink. Continuing with our month of spooky sensations for the Halloween season. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Sleepy Hollow.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal movie.
Movie based on the short story by Washington Irving and adapted to a great Tim Burton movie with his favorite actor, Johnny Depp. Mm-hmm. We will be drinking an apple cider mule, which we'll discuss how to make later in the episode, but it's a perfect combination with the Sleepy Hollow essence of fall in New England. Yep. So let's jump right into the movie. Mark?
Yeah, like I said, it is one of my Halloween favorites. I like it. One, it's got that nice fantasy feel. It's got a little horror gothic feel to it. It's not too scary, so the kids can watch it starting at an early age. It's not something you have to wait until they get older. And as most Tim Burton films have, it's just got that Tim Burton feel, which I think most of his films are pretty good, I would say. Go out on a limb there.
Absolutely. I also think as a period timepiece, as Steve mentioned previously, it is based off the book by Washington Irving, set in prior to the 1800s, right?
It was written in the early 1800s.
Yeah, but I think
set right.
Yeah, set right before the turn of the century.
Right, post-Civil Revolutionary War.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So as a period piece, I really enjoyed the period specific aspects of the film. So, excuse me, all the costumes, wonderful. The actual village that it was set in, very authentic looking for that time period. What I found, so I remember the first time that I watched the movie, it's a period timepiece. And in various parts of the movie, you often see certain characters looking out the window into the fields or
you're going to talk about the window dot, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Window
You
dot.
knew exactly where I was going with it. So
historical glassmaking class coming up. Pay attention.
Pay attention. Steve might have break down some knowledge for you. So in many of those scenes where the actor, the character is looking out the window, oftentimes you might see a ripple that is in a circular pattern within one of the panes of the glass. And that is a very common way of making glass back in that time.
It's tied into glassmaking. Obviously, wasn't it what it is today, and the way they poured glass and made sheet glass. And if you want to get into the glassmaking, it goes all the way back to the window taxes of England. But we won't delve off track that much. But it is a very true, authentic. If you're ever wondering why they have those, glass made in those days was not perfect, and the way it was poured and cooled led to those deformations that give it the iconic look.
I like it. Speaking of the timepiece and the set and the costumes and everything, I better to mention that Sleepy Hollow did win the Oscar for Best Art Direction.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
It is a very, looking it up, it was a shocker because it's not a normal awardy Oscar type movie you would think normally. This is a fun movie with Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci,
and of course Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. This movie also had 3 Sith Lords in it.
No way.
It had.
Yeah.
So it had Darth Maul, who is a stunt double for Christopher Walken riding the horse. It had
that I did not know, but the other
Christopher Lee.
Yes.
Who was the judge who sent him to Sleepy Hollow, and the doctor was Ian McDiarmid, the Emperor.
I remember the doctor being...
The doctor was, yes. Yeah. I did not even pick up on that. Did not. Who knew?
It's kind of one of those things, you watch it and you're like,
I wonder if that was a purposeful, or if there was any thought. I mean, I know he loves Christopher Lee as an actor.
I want to say, is it The Force Awakens? What was the first movie in the new trilogy?
Oh, you're talking about The Phantom Menace.
Yes, The Phantom Menace was filming at the same time. So
we'll get into that movie one day. But.
So Christopher Lee and Ian McDiarmid would just go back and forth between the sets.
because they did come out about the same time.
I guess not the sets because
But yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
They came out the same year, I believe it was 2013-ish. No, it was way before that.
Way
I'm
before
thinking about something
2013.
else. Yeah, way before 2013.
That was the 90s.
So late night, like 96, I think is what it was, 96, 97. Yeah.
But pointing to the historical accuracy, the Hessian mercenaries mostly did fight in the northern part of the 13 colonies. So there is accuracy that the Hessians were up there, and
Is there any accuracy to the fact that they
one's
would...
headless and came back? No.
No. Is there any accuracy to the fact that they would try to make themselves look even more fearsome by
Filing their teeth.
I don't think shaving their teeth, but they were very formidable soldiers. They were renowned worldwide at the time as being hired out as mercenaries.
Okay.
And it was kind of like the winning side always picked them. Unusual for them to be on the losing side.
That's interesting.
Now, was it the winning side because it had them, or did they just pick the winning side to keep their reputation up?
A little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put in the comments if you know.
If you know.
Yeah.
But favorite scenes?
So, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when Johnny Depp's character first gets to town. He wants to examine one of the most recently deceased townspersons, and they're out in the middle of the woods. He's getting all his scientific gear out, and he kind of looks down from the camera. He doesn't look at the camera, and you see him kind of messing around a little bit, and then he puts something on his face, and he pops back up, and he's got these crazy glasses on, which is just kind of a comic moment, but also at the same time, again, talking about a period piece, often scientists would, develop their own gear in order to
There was no Sunglass Hut or lens crafters to go to.
Yeah, or even, a scientific...
It's like a baseline for their equipment.
Right. So that was probably one of my favorite scenes just because it was kind of a little bit goofy.
Just surprising, just out of this kind of dark noir thriller mystery, and he pops. Because if I remember correctly,
Very steampunk looking.
weren't they like
One's got a magnifier,
Yep.
the other one has all kind of wazoo gadgets and
Yep.
gears on
It's
it.
a great scene. It's a great scene. Mine is actually the very first scene of the movie with the carriage racing through. You just see it pull back, long shot of the carriage racing on the road, the creepy background, the woods, the dead trees. It just kind of sets the whole tone of the movie. This is going to be, this is where we're jumping off at.
I think my favorite scene was earlier in the movie as well, when he's talking to the magistrate and he's berating Johnny Depp's character about desecrating bodies that he found in the river, and what are we, savages? And then they throw that drunkard down into the prison that he goes headfirst into the hole in the ground.
Oh, yeah.
It's the dichotomy of the whole scene that just cracked me up. I thought it was absolutely one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Did anyone have a second favorite scene?
I mean, again, I love the movie, so every scene. Speaking of kind of absurd moments is when Johnny Depp, Ichabod Crane, is in his room with his assistant, the little kid, and they're searching for something, and they see something in the bed, and they move the bed aside, and they're just out of nowhere, the evil eye! And it's no explanation at first of what's going on, and they explain it, in the next scene, but just kind of one of those. The way it was presented was quite humorous again, and the overarching tone of the movie kind of threw me off a little bit.
Well, they definitely kept it humorous with trying to also keep the edge of spookiness. It was not a jump scare.
No.
Nothing. I would say nothing gory. There was a little bit of gore if you're averse to blood. And that was one of the things he did, was the blood was shockingly red compared to the muted tones of the rest of the movie.
Would you like to know why that is?
Absolutely.
It is because they filmed with a blue lens, so the color of the actual blood was orange because they filmed with a blue lens, and that is why it is so shockingly red in the movie.
Did not know that, but contrasting colors and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting because it has a very, now you say blue tone, almost colorized black and white, if you will, and then that blood was just shockingly red.
It definitely threw off the dreary tones of the rest of the movie. Threw off, but stood out.
Contrasted them because it was pretty interesting. And then the whole exactly why I'm not offending anybody, but small towns. Why didn't you tell us? Well, everybody knows we're all intermarried here. The very insular small town where everybody thinks it's idyllic, but that kind of crazy stuff of the pregnancy and all that other crazy stuff going on.
Yeah. Now, I will say one other scene that was actually shocking to me, that wasn't a humorous scene, is when he kills, I can't remember what his character was, but it was him and his wife.
Oh, and the little kid.
And the little kid is hiding under
Yeah.
the floorboards.
I thought the kid was going to get away.
Yeah.
Normally, in movies like this, the kid definitely either scurries out or they don't find him there, but no, he
just whacked that kid.
I mean, this was 6-7-year-old kid. And
that was brutal. At least they didn't show even the dead body, but that was...
It was definitely heavily implied that the kid did not make it out.
Oh,
which
yeah.
a lot of directors will not...
Go there.
Yeah,
a
they
little
won't go there.
taboo.
Yes, exactly.
But I think that's the power of the Headless Horseman and the enchantment that was kind of on him.
Yeah, he just...
Whoever was marked
was in
for
his
death.
way. It was, I think it was a bloodline thing, so... Because wasn't she getting blood from the people?
Yep.
So
And then she was marking them essentially, and yeah. So
Although the one thing that we discussed when we watched it was the time disparity of if she grew up in that hut and then the other family come in. Christina Ricci's character came in and they moved into that hut and she was thrown to wild.
right.
How old is she really? I mean, that she had to be way older.
Right.
Well,
That
if
she was
she's,
portrayed in the movie, though.
I mean, if she's got the power to summon a headless horseman,
She might have the power.
she might have the power to extend her life. It's like Melisandre in Game of Thrones. She took that little necklace off, shriveled up.
Although her sister, her
Twin.
She seemed pretty old, wasn't she?
she looked older, but I think it's because she was living in that cave
Living
and she
in
was kind
squalor
of
and-
She was the typical witch hag kind of.
Yeah. Which, speaking of scenes, not so many jump scares, but there was that one scene where he's trying to get the fortune from the witch, and she summons an inner demon, and then it just, she kind of jumps out with like.
It's very
horrible
similar.
face.
Very similar to the first ghost you see in Ghostbusters, where
Oh,
it's this
yeah.
nice, quiet witch, and then,
And then, bam!
jumps right in your
she's
face.
in your
yeah.
face.
Yep.
But we also had the foreshadowing of keep this book close when Christina Ricci's character gives that book of spells and protection.
Yes.
Of course,
Yeah.
if you're one of those people that likes to guess ahead, well, that's going to somehow save his life, and of course it did save his life.
That's true. Speaking of things that'll save your life, is this cocktail. So we'll cut away to a short intermission, and Steve is going to show us all how to make the cocktail.
See you when we get back.
See you when we get back.
All right, welcome to the cocktail portion of Rated D for Drinks. Here we're going to discuss the apple cider mule, how to make it. First, you're going to start off with your vodka, ginger beer, apple cider, and your garnishes of apple slices and cinnamon sticks. A glass of ice, and your trusty stirrer. We're going to start with a slippery bottle of vodka, 2 ounces of vodka. Be generous. 2 ounces of your favorite apple cider. And 3 ounces of non-alcoholic ginger beer. We prefer Gosling's or Bitburg as our 2 favorites, but whatever you like. All right, you're going to want to gently stir that up. Get it all flowing. That's about it. Throw in your apple and cinnamon garnish. And cheers to spooky season. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Rated D for Drink. All right, we're back after you learn how to make this wonderful cocktail. One of the things we liked about this was it really captures the essence of New England in the fall. The apple, the cinnamon, apple cider, apple slices. It's very... Because when you think of the Headless Horseman, of course, the pumpkin comes to mind. It has the pumpkin as a head, so that instantly makes it a Halloween fall movie, and this is a very Halloween fall drink. So I hope you enjoy this as much as we did on the drink.
It's very tasty.
But getting back to the movie, once we all have a sip here. I know, so I'll wait till everybody have their lips to the glass before I said getting back to
There we go.
Getting back to the movie. Great movie, and it's kind of, as we were just talking about on our break, the Tim Burton-esque. His movies, you don't mistake them for anybody else's movies.
No. They're totally, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, the whole theme of the movie is very...
It's like his own ambiance. It's like Tim Burton has his own ambiance.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
It's like Tarantino,
Yes.
Guy Ritchie. Like, if you're watching a Guy Ritchie movie, just listen to the dialogue.
That's a Guy Ritchie movie.
This is a Guy Ritchie movie. As soon as 5 minutes into a movie, you got that kind of gothic overfeel of Tim Burton. I mean, even Nightmare Before Christmas is very, very gothic feeling. So.
But he did a great job with this one based on the original short story by Washington Irving. Ichabod was a school teacher in the town. They made him an out-of-town detective. It kind of brought the science aspect into it. And, of course, they had the iconic covered bridge with the pumpkin, which they did on the prank they played on him, which tied it very nicely into the short story. But just like any other short story that's turned into a movie, you have to stretch it out.
You do.
Otherwise, it would be a 25-minute movie, and no one's going to spend a lot of money on that.
And I'll have to go back and reread the short story. It's been many, many years. I don't think they really talk about the horseman's backstory.
His origins.
His origins.
No.
His origin story.
I think it was kind of the
folklore of
he was the boogeyman of that town, right? He's the chupacabra,
Chupacabra.
so to speak, of that town.
But it was well done. They didn't kill it. They didn't overstretch it. Some movies that you make from a book, they had to take too much out.
Right.
And then some short stories or other things, Pirates of the Caribbean, which was a Disney ride, they add too much. But this was done well.
Yeah. I think every actor
had a good story, a good theme.
They all kind of, you could tell nobody really mailed it in on this movie. They were all having fun with their characters.
100%.
I like the quorum of the townsfolk men. When Johnny Depp first gets into town, they're all like, "Oh no, everyone!" And it's very, they're all pretty well known. I mean,
it was a good cast.
Yeah,
it was a good cast.
Very good cast.
And nobody phoned it in. They definitely brought their A games. And again, I'm surprised it won an Oscar because it's not a movie. It's a comfort movie. It's not a movie you go to expecting to sit in an Oscar movie and have to put a lot into. You sit back, you kind of enjoy it, you laugh, you get a little ooh. But it definitely is just a great Halloween movie that you can watch with the whole family. Some families can't deal with the blood. I get that.
Yeah.
And there's a little gory scene with the tree and the heads.
There is, and absolutely another one of my favorite scenes towards the very end of the film is when the horseman gets his head back, and I don't know how they do the special effects for it, but they kind of go through this series of effects with Christopher Walken where all the veins and the flesh and the eyes and everything is coming back. I thought that was very, very well done.
It went from a skull, just a skull,
to Christopher Walken.
To Christopher Walken's face. So, yeah. And for 99, that was a pretty...
Yeah.
No, it was well done.
Pretty well done, yeah.
And if you don't like your Moscow Mule type drinks, the other drink we debated was just a hard cider.
Yeah.
You can go with a hard cider that's very feel for this movie. It kind of gets that bobbing for apples fall thing going, and they kept it very fall. You felt chilly up there watching that movie. It felt chilly.
Yeah, and having lived in New England for a year, and then obviously visiting family in New England, kind of around that same time of year. totally, totally got the feel of New England for late fall,
Yeah.
early winter.
And the tree was done better than Poltergeist.
1000%.
The tree was done much better than Poltergeist tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
That tree still kills me in that movie.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
I'll agree. What would you give this rating out of 10?
I love the movie. I watch it every year.
It holds up.
Yeah, during the month of October. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
I'd give it a 9.
I'd give it probably like a 9.2.
9.2.
Definitely for rewatchability. Just
Holds up, doesn't feel
holds
dated.
up. It doesn't feel dated. I mean, it is almost 30 years old too. It's, but it looks good still.
Yeah, it does definitely look good.
Yeah.
All right.
Well done, Tim Burton. Well done.
Yes. Cheers. Hey, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Yep. See you.